Hey guys, it's Emerald Nachos, and today we're going to be talking about my 5 takeaways from the last playtest of Dark and Darker. If you don't know what Dark and Darker is, it's an unreleased dungeon crawl adventure game. You can kind of think of it as like a medieval escape from Tarkov, but without further ado, let's get right into it. My first takeaway from playing Dark and Darker was to learn the game sounds. I can't even tell you how many times it saved my life to hear approaching players, to slow down, stop, and hide in the shadows or something and avoid that confrontation that I was most certainly not going to win my first time playing. But it's also just helpful to hear where certain mobs are, higher level mobs. You definitely want to stay away from those when you're doing a run without any gear on you. And also hearing when escape portals form and what direction they're in is super helpful for getting out of the dungeon. My second takeaway would be to observe your opponents. Now, this includes mobs, but here I'm mostly talking about players. And what I mean by this is seeing what class they are, what group they are in. This will kind of give you a clue to the weapons and the abilities that they have. And also give you time to analyze the situation and decide whether you're going to fight or you're going to run away. You also can see consumables. They appear like on the hips of players. Usually just potions are really obvious to see, but I did see some people complaining that they wish to be able to see gear on people a little bit more easier. So we'll see what they do with that. But yeah, you can definitely tell a lot just from looking at your opponents. If you can get a good idea, you can decide what to do from there. My third takeaway was to take my time. It took a little bit to get used to the combat style in this game. And I also found myself rushing to kind of collect as much loot as I can when in reality it's just much more worth it to take your time and not get hit by any of the mobs and save your health. Also just to clean an entire room out and so you have a safe place to retreat to if you have to, or just somewhere to camp it out and wait for portals to open. It's definitely more worth it in my opinion to play a little slower, especially earlier in the game when you don't have a lot of things going for you. My fourth takeaway would be to pay attention to the map, and this sounds really obvious, but not so much just to see where the zone is or anything, and you can't open up the map, you just get that little mini-map. So what I mean by this is just seeing different routes to get to places. A lot of times you'll hear mobs, or there'll be a gate you can't open from one way, or even hearing other players. It's just really nice to find a different way to get to where you're going, or just to escape from something that you do not necessarily want to be around. Another point I'd like to make is to not be afraid of the zone. The zone in this game does not do too much damage. It's definitely worth it to backtrack a little bit into the zone in order to get away from a group of 3 players when you're running a little solo dive. So just keep that in mind, that the zone is not that dangerous. And perhaps my most important tip or bit of advice would be to use doors and use the darkness. These are the 2 biggest tools you have to your advantage when playing this game. For doors, you can quickly shut them, and it takes way longer to open than to shut, so you can use this to kind of keep an escape open, or you can shut doors behind you to make sure that it takes longer for players to sneak up on you. In terms of darkness, players have to take their torch out or go up and light a torch, which they probably won't even be able to see. So this kind of leaves them defenseless for a little bit, and giving you an edge to get the jump on them. And so this means just turning off torches and candles and kind of hiding in the corners. If you slide shadow to shadow, you're much less likely to be seen by other players. Sometimes I just find myself waiting out and having players walk into the same room as me and leave, and the whole time they never know I'm there. So yeah, these were my 5 takeaways from playing the playtest. I'm super excited to see where this game goes. I can't wait to hear when the next playtest will be, and I will definitely be streaming it a lot. So let me know what you guys think of this game, any other tips you guys might have, and I will catch you in the next one.